be honest, you know.
Yeah. Did you
And
do
I'm
that?
opening up a giant packed, stuffed full canister of lemon balm leaves.
I know those things. I opened mine too. It's like you can't even get the first spoon out.
Yeah, it's an embarrassment of riches. To be honest. Yeah. Um, anyway, I'm dropping it in. That's what we're drinking today is just lemon balm leaves. Melissa officinalis, right?
Yep.
Which you can talk. We can talk about some of the benefits, but one of the great things about Melissa, in especially big in Germany and in Europe, but if you get cold sores on the outside of your mouth, that is sort of the standard European treatment is a little salve of lemon balm.
Yeah. It's not just standard, but it's actually in a lot of the Western ones here.
Yeah,
They add it as an inactive ingredient. If you look at the back, most of them have it that way as well.
yeah. Which is really cool. And there's been a lot of clinical trials about the ability of lemon balm to sort of help with, the virus, the herpes virus, which causes cold sores, which is pretty awesome.
I have always had like a strong um, like love of this herb, and I felt like
Yeah,
drawn to it. I don't know how else to say it, but I feel like I need it. um, I mean, I get cold sores, and I used to get them a lot.
yeah,
Um, and I get
I
them a
remember.
lot less. I take lemon balm every day. I also have a much better diet than I used to have, and I have I don't stay up, you know, 3 nights a week through the night anymore, which is like
Yeah,
you know,
that might make a difference. And also, if you did have it, we'd never know because you have a giant beard and mustache right now. So you might be lying to us.
you're welcome.
Yeah.
Um, no, no, my cold sores are big enough that you would see it still. Trust me. I get like Bigfoot cold sores. Like these are
I know.
bad.
I know. I
And
remember.
and it's like so it's something that I've taken anyway, and then I think I felt the other effects of it, the calming effects of it. Um
Hey, Therese.
eh, and I mean I think that's why I'm so drawn to it, you know? I also
Yeah.
just love the flavor.
Yeah. In case you're just joining us, I'm TQ. We're drinking some lemon balm, just plain lemon balm leaves, brewed up as a tea, talking about the antiviral effects with herpes for cold sores and the history of usage there. But right now, we're starting to get into some of the more mental, emotional aspects of lemon balm.
Yeah.
Right?
Mhm.
So, speak to me about that, kid.
Well, I mean, you know, I'm I'm just telling you what I've used it for. I started using it. I was taking like anything I could against cold sores, right? I was looking for lysine, and I was taking um, garlic, and I was taking lemon balm. I was taking super lysine plus, which has like a
Yeah.
lot of stuff in it. And then the one thing that was missing was lemon balm, and so I would get that separately as an extract, and I would even sometimes just take the extract in under my tongue, you know, but
Mhm.
also sometimes just kind of hold it over the actual sore,
Yeah.
you know, because the alcohol in the base of an extract also kind of kind of dries out and burns a little, which feels good when you're
Yeah.
um, when you're dealing with that situation. And it's like a weird fine line between um, do I cover this thing up or do I let it breathe and dry out? You know, it's like I don't want it to be a wound, but I also don't want it to like live. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Totally.
like any wound that's healing, you sort of have that. Um, like so there's a day at which you're like, I need to take this band-aid off and let this thing just dry up. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
No,
Yeah.
I totally know. And I think, that's the cold sore aspect of lemon balm and just deal with cold sores in general. But you're right, there is a mental aspect, and I've taken it for many years on and off, mostly on, from like this kind of calming, uplifting effect,
Yeah.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, it just feels like it has sort of this low level,
Anti-anxiety thing, right?
yeah, like low level, I'm able to breathe. Um,
The beauty of lemon balm is that for me, not only does it have like the chill, but there's like a, I don't know how else to describe it except there's a focus that comes with it. It's
yeah,
not just chill. Like you could take valerian or something else and just relax. Magnesium even, right? But but lemon balm has like a chill with a focus for me anyway. That's how I perceive it. Um I don't know what the people are saying.
no, I think you're right. Um,
I mean, and also we should talk. I mean, it's nerves. It's nerves. So anytime you can calm your nerves down, it's going to help you focus a little more. And when I was working the front of the store, Dad would always say, and he's here, hi, Pops. I'm sure
no,
that, I'm sure he could tell us even more, but lemon balm was, you know, Dad, when you had a stomach ache, he would give you stomach herbs and nerve herbs, right? Together. He would give you a bag of each. Drink both. Drink both. People would say, "But this isn't for stomach. It says nerves." And he said, "Why do you think your stomach is up? You know, like you need to calm everything down." And so lemon balm's often used to calm your stomach down as well. And particularly in tea format, people use it for, dyspepsia, if you will.
yeah, no, that's true. Um, if you are drinking something right now, please share with us what you're drinking so we can talk about that too. And I did want to say there are lemon balm, there are some potential drug interactions, things like thyroid medications, blood thinners, glaucoma, chemo. So definitely, if you're going to take it as a tea, it's probably very limited, but I would say just check that and check with someone before you go uh, taking a lot of that, if that makes sense. Um, but it is, so what they say is that um, you're right, anxiety, insomnia, these are big uses of lemon balm in general.
Deb Miller says, fresh lemon balm in my tea today.
Nice, Deb.
Well,
Good choice.
she's the one yesterday who gave me the idea. I like read it and then I couldn't shake it. I was like, we have to do lemon balm today. I need it.
Yeah,
I
nice to get it fresh. That's
Yeah,
even
it's
better.
interesting. I've been thinking about fresh teas, and I think we need to do a few of those. And there's some simple ones we can do, like that are just herbs you can get at the grocery store or in your backyard too. So I was thinking this week or next week we should definitely get into some fresh rosemary,
Yeah,
and like potentially um, thyme,
yeah.
sage. You
I
know,
also would like us to make. Let's try to do what we talked about, which is the. I want to make a non-sugar version of Moroccan mint tea. I want to make the best version that I've ever tasted. I
I'll
haven't
I'll,
tasted any without sugar.
I'll make it, and then I'll send a bottle over to the store.
That's exactly what I was hoping for, brother.
Yeah.
Therese, yes, lemon balm is called Melissa officinalis. It would definitely be in a relaxation tea blend. That would make complete sense. So, yeah, I'm in a mood to relax today. It's Tuesday. Got that fired up kind of feeling of like we still got a lot of week to get through. But for me, that usually manifests itself in I start to get like, oh man, there's a lot to do, which is good because I get a lot done. But it also can be a little taxing running your whole week like that. But I have to say, I've been feeling a lot better since we've been doing these teas, Jed. So thank you for that.
Me too, man. Me too. And I had a trying day yesterday with tech for us and with a bunch of other things, and I'm feeling like much, much better today. So thanks, man. I appreciate this time with you.
Yeah, yeah. Deb has, aside from lemon balm, chamomile and tulsi in her tea, which is
Mm.
holy basil, which is awesome. What a blend. That sounds great. Yeah, no, I know how it goes, Jay. I've had a number of those days in the past couple months, especially, and you've helped me through them. And that kind of brings us up to like I was thinking we can just keep talking about teas and whatever, but I also wanted to talk about like great news or things that are great.
Huh.
Uh, some could be related to the current situation, could not be. I don't really care. I've just been trying to think about things or notice things that make me really happy lately, or that kind of give me some sense of wonder at the world that's not just awe at its destructive power or whatever, but like, wow, this is great. So, a couple of things that have been on my mind. One is about this coronavirus thing. I know I sent it to you, but I don't know if you had a chance to read it. But did you see the article about using old vaccines for potentially helping with coronavirus?
I saw that you sent it. I did not read it yet.
Okay, we'll link it up. I'm sure Greta can post it. New York Times has a paywall, but you could probably get a few articles for free if you're not a New York Times subscriber. But find it. Someone has it somewhere. It's an excellent article. And like, here's my take. Most articles on vaccines kind of leave me feeling like, great, in the best case scenario, it's 12 to 18 months away. And that's sort of a really big long shot. But keep going, guys. We'll get there. You know what I mean? Which isn't a very satisfying feeling. The cool thing about this is what it's basically said is that there is a number of researchers, and they're small by comparison with specific vaccine makers for specific problems, but that are saying essentially old vaccines like oral polio vaccine or the measles vaccine that we don't even use in this country anymore seem to, in many studies, both anecdotally and in studies, anecdotally by researchers who work there and in studies, but that are limited and need more work and more testing, showing that when you use those, you are given, the populations that use those are given a boost against all non-accidental illness. Like they have a lower chance of getting influenza or other illnesses, even though that's not the vaccine that they're taking.
Wow, that's super interesting.
Which is so cool. And it goes to something that fascinates me that I'm definitely not an expert in this. But this idea of immunity being, we're focused on, can we make a vaccine for coronavirus? And like, keep going, let's do it. Yes. But that's like a specific response to one specific virus. But it seems that we don't know a lot about the immune system still. Like even the best researchers will acknowledge this, that we don't really understand how it works, and that there seems to be a non-specific immune boost that can happen at certain times. And they're saying essentially that some theories are that these things give your immune system more malleability to address all potential threats.
I mean,
and the cool thing is like they're 12 cents a dose.
Wow.
And we have stockpiles of them because some of these are used in other countries still, or the developing world, especially around the world. And you brought this up, like, why are we not seeing it as much in certain countries in the developing world? There is some theory, and again, I'm not saying this has been proven, but there's some theory that like it may be in countries where they're still using those vaccines, they have a more adaptive immune response to this virus, which doesn't mean they're not getting it, but they may not be getting it as severely.
Wow.
Either way, whatever it is, it's just a little ray of sunshine shining in like a cloud on a cloudy day to me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it may turn out to be not a sunny day, but it feels good.
You know what's cool is that incredibly smart people are looking at it from every angle. I mean, that's even maybe the wider ray of sunshine there is that like it's just incredible that highly intelligent people dedicate their entire lives to things like that.
Yeah, totally.
Like,
totally.
What?
That's 100% right. And you know, I think it's exactly what you said. It's nice to feel like we've got our best people. To quote you,
we got our best men working away.
But I would say instead of best men, it's like we got our best people working away.
Yeah, I wrote that sarcastically, but
I know you did. But yes, that feels good. And it does feel like I'm a believer that you can't rest on that and say like, oh, let's not do anything. People will figure it out. But it does feel like in a lot of things, that's always been my argument in climate change. Like, I'm not going to say technology will solve this, but to rule out the idea that we're going to come up with a tech-based solution that at least that's going to play a large part of that puzzle seems to me to not be betting on how history has gone for humans on this earth.
Yeah, yeah.
You know,
You're getting pretty far out from the topic now, but yeah, I feel you.
well, I'm building a bridge to my next piece of good news. But I want to throw you. Why don't you take one? Come on, what's been good? Tell me something good.
GQ's on Instagram, our brother.
Yay. That's
Well,
our other
speaking
brother.
of our other brother and me and Jackson and Paz, this is my good news, is that we made an awesome hip hop record for kids and families. So it's a clean hip hop record, but the beats are banging. And it's like, it's for parents that are in the hip hop generation and that go like, man, I used to listen to cooler music. And now around my kids, I feel like I'm like relegated to oldies and like pop songs, radio edits of pop songs. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And like what my hip hop collection, they're not in an age where I can share that with them despite some of its language or even because I want them to know some of that, some of those
yeah,
words and language, but not yet because they're too young.
yeah,
And
totally.
and and uh, and so this is an album for those families and for everyone. Really, it's really enjoyable. My friend who has an older kid is a musician was listening it today and he said I'm laughing out loud right now. This album is so funny. So if anyone wants to support an artist in this crazy time, you can buy it anywhere you buy music. It's Q Brothers called Buggin', and you can stream it anywhere. If you can't afford to throw a few bucks at the album, please just play it and listen to it and share it because it really helps us out. And I just honestly I'm really proud of it, and the production is like some of my best yet, I think. And it's so funny that happens on a kids record, but
Yeah, Greta, make sure we link that up. The other thing, can I say, you and G and Jackson and Poss, you guys are all true working artists. Like Jay, you're on this call with me, but this isn't your day gig. You're doing this because we like to do it and you love the apothecary and the products, but you don't work here. You know what I mean? Like on a regular basis. You're an awesome razor owner. So I will say that you do help me there. You do some great voiceovers and other awesome things, but in general, you're a working artist.
I haven't worked in front of the store in 10 years, So,
Yeah.
yeah.
So other than coming out and helping out on Christmas so we can work together as a fam or something like that, um, you guys are working artists. And so I want to say to everyone, a kids album, like you have a potential to make the charts because there aren't that many kids albums, especially really great ones that parents and adults could listen to, whether or not you have kids, right?
Yeah.
So please, Greta, link it up. If you do something,
Thank
if you want to
you.
do something to help
Thank you.
artists, no, I know you're not asking for it, so I'm asking for it on your behalf and on the behalf of all my other brother and my friends, Jackson Potts. Is that like, go buy the album, $7.99, I think it was, right?
I think on iTunes $7.99. Yeah.
Yeah, like, geez, you're a supporting artist. Go do it. It's awesome, and you get great music on top of that. So make that your good deed for today. Please support working artists.
All right. Moving on.
I know. I'm sorry. You know me. I'm going to promote it. You're my
I
brother.
appreciate you.
I love you. All right. So here, I'm going to try and find it. Unfortunately, I'm using my phone for Instagram Live right now, so I can't see it. But let me see if I can find. There is an article. Let's see. I heard about this guy yesterday on a different podcast that I was listening to, and I think I've got it right now.
I'm loving your Bulls hat today, by the way. Is everybody watching the Sunday Night Bulls documentary? It's amazing.
Yeah, ESPN, The Last Dance. I'm a little bit behind. I've been recording it, but I have to say I'm sort of feeling extra Bulls love for it.
It's incredible. It's incredible. Whether you like basketball or not, everyone's got to. You got to watch that. It's so good. It's so good.
Yeah, it's 100% true. So, all right. What I'm trying to do is, okay,
Come
shoot,
on.
I wish I had this ready to go. I'm sorry that I'm having a problem finding it.
What is it? Just
But
tell us about it.
I will find it as we're talking about it. So it's a plan by this entrepreneur about how we would address climate change. He does the math, and he's saying essentially we should do all the things we're trying to do, but essentially the best way we know, the most proven way to sequester carbon and to cool the earth and do all this stuff is that we need to do to avoid climate disaster is through trees. And he does the math and he walks you through it step by step of like scientifically what does one tree accomplish, what does an acre of tree accomplish, how many extra cubic tons or whatever they call it, metric tons of carbon
Oh,
do we need to
this is this
sequester.
massive reforestation plan, right?
3 point something billion acres of reforestation he calls for. But he doesn't stop there. He basically talks through how would we do it and where would we do it and what would the cost be to do it? Because in order to reforest, he's saying we've solved that problem. We know in Israel they've reforested, in other areas of the world they've turned desert into forest. And certain parts of things that we consider desert, before you go and say, well, desert is part of this planet, we actually turned it into desert like millennia ago when we were basically invented agriculture and let our livestock graze on these plains until they were just wiped out and they turned into desert. So he calls for reforestation, but he basically gives the whole, like, let's take a worst case scenario. If it costs this much to irrigate for 20 years until the climate patterns around this forest become self-sustaining for growth, how much would it cost? And essentially, it makes you realize it's probably like around $3 trillion a year for the whole.
I seem to remember $3 trillion being used really recently.
Yeah, well, it's getting close to that. But my point is, that's for the whole earth. And the cool thing about it is that he's saying it doesn't matter if if one government doesn't want to participate. The great part about it is, like, unlike a pact where it's like we all have to do this and now people are going back and doing other things, private landowners, even in countries that don't buy into it, could accomplish it. And so it makes you need like some percentage of governments buying into it and some major landholders, but it's the kind of thing that, like, there's enough wealth, enough governments with sense, hopefully, and enough private landowners that, like, this could be done starting right away. And he bought up, I forgot how many, hundreds of acres, I don't remember, 40 acres to test it cost-wise in a place that doesn't get good irrigation on the Big Island of Hawaii. One of the lowest, this particular corner of the Big Island is one of the lowest rainfall areas in the world per year. And he's running it by doing solar-powered desalination. So the water's coming from the ocean and returning back to the ocean and paying for it to prove it.
Wow.
Which is so cool. Isn't that cool?
That's amazing.
Yeah, it just got, so I will find it. I'm sorry I'm having trouble. I should have been, today is a little crazy, but I'm going to link that below. And it is just one of the coolest things that I've heard about recently.
That's amazing, dude.
So that was another piece of good news.
That's totally incredible. That's totally incredible. I'm like that. Yeah, it gets me kind of amped, actually.
I know. Me too. So, hey, if you just joined us again, I'm TQ. It's my brother JQ. We're drinking some lemon balm tea. We talked about lemon balm, all the uses. If you have some tea that you want to share that you're drinking, please tell us about it. Carly, I agree. Yes, we're talking about things like that may not be the answer, but I feel like more good ideas like this is what's going to get us there, And the other thing is, if you had said 2 months ago, let's spend $3.5 trillion a year on planting trees, it might have been like, yeah, who's going to do that? Well, we're spending $1 trillion just in the US alone on this financial recovery from COVID, and we don't even know when it ends. So all of a sudden, it doesn't seem like that's a big deal.
Well,
You
we
know?
had our book group the other night, and remember?
Yeah.
It was like there was, I mean, that group is awesome, and there was a little bit like, oh, now we can find $1 trillion. Like
Yeah.
there was some voices in there that were like, what about reparations? What about, And I was like, yeah, it's interesting when 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 really rich people's monies are at stake that we can find $1 trillion, no problem, no problem, just print it, just print it.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean,
I mean,
you
I don't want
got
the
to do
whole
something.
thing. I don't want the whole thing to fall apart either. But like, it's just you're like, okay, all right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Can we
Yeah.
keep the
No, it's like,
can we keep the
yeah.
faucet open a little bit for some other people?
Yeah. No, it's interesting. Uh, got someone drinking a Somm, which is always excellent. Um, I'm sorry, I want to find this.
I
What
think
is this guy's name? He's
here,
got a really interesting name.
here. Greta sent the article in the chat.
She did?
Yeah,
Cool.
she's asking if that's the right one.
That is the right one. Yes, Greta. Thank you.
Um,
Yishan Wong. He's the guy who did this. He was an early at Facebook. I think he was early at another place at PayPal. So he has the money. He's been funding it, but it's a really interesting article. I read it last night and was like, yes, let's give it a go.
yeah.
And his other point was like, unlike a lot of things, if it turns out that we're wrong and it has unknown bad effects on climate globally, well, we could just cut the forest down. You know what I mean? Like, he's like, it's pretty easy to go back to desert
And
or to whatever.
you got a bunch of wood and paper and all kinds of stuff out of it.
Yeah, he's like, we have a pretty good use of how to use forests to do a bunch of stuff. So
Clearly
we've
we're
gotten really good. We've gotten really good for all of human history at cutting forests down,
clearly good at that. Yeah.
which I appreciate.
Hey, Tanya's here. Hi, Tanya.
Hey, Tanya, how are you, my friend? Miss you. So,
Did you know that there is lemon balm in the elderflower pastilles from Grethers?
really?
Yeah. Lemon
That
balm
might be there.
extract. Not like
Yeah, well,
flavoring.
if you've never tried Grethers pastilles, you don't know what we're talking about. But they're this somehow totally, like it's not a candy. It should be a candy. It probably is a candy, but it's a pastille. And in this case, there's something that makes it better than a candy. I remember when back in like the 90s, the big news was like, Bill Clinton always used Grethers pastilles. Other people, there was like a list of politicians and celebrities.
Phil Collins.
Phil Collins. Can you get a bigger endorsement than that?
I mean, that guy could wail.
No doubt. He wouldn't be coming in the air tonight without Grethers pastilles. I think yeah.
Everyone needs to play that song after this.
Yes.
Awesome.
We should write to him and see if he'll let us be that. Let us.
No. But anyway, they always had a black one and a red one, right? A black currant and a red currant, right?
Yep.
And they came out with an elderflower one recently, right? Fairly recently.
Last couple of years.
Yeah, last couple. I mean, but for that company, that's very recently.
Yeah.
Right? So. They came out with an elderflower one, but there's lemon balm extract in those little elderflower pastilles. I mean, those things are amazing. And it's glycerin, right? So like the lubrication for your throat. So that's why Bill Clinton and these guys used them, was actually to keep their voice hydrated, because they both talk and sing so much,
Yeah, it's performers. If you're talking a lot on Zoom calls right now for business, it'd be great. If you talk a lot, to whoever you're sheltering with.
If you're just like you and you just talk a lot.
Yeah, if you're like me and just talk to anyone who listens or who even doesn't listen all the time.
Or my daughter, yeah.
I think I talk the most out of anyone. For someone who doesn't like my own voice, I talk a lot,
Yeah, well, I like your voice. I think it's soothing.
Thanks, brother. I think.
Oh yeah, look at that, Pops. Right on. Me and Pops are sharing a brain today. Glycerin based, good for throats. Singers use it all the time.
Yeah, and Vladimir on YouTube talked about our fragrance reviews. We haven't done too many. We did a little bit recently. Last week, one of these live ones, we did some by Méchant Loup. Big Bad Wolf from L'Artisan.
That's
No
Greta's.
doubt.
That's one of
That's still
Greta's.
in my personal
Yeah.
collection right now. And this is a good time of year to use it. Méchant Loup is, it means Big Bad Wolf. That said, it's not a very intimidating, masculine, beastly fragrance. It sort of smells like wet hay, I think, but
But like
I love it.
in like a nice way. You're not making it sound very
No,
appetizing.
it smells like wet, dried hay mixed with some greenery and flowers. It's
It is
beautiful.
really beautiful. Greta wears it, and I love it. So it does not smell like wet hay to me. I'm just gonna throw that out there.
Go look up the notes. What a lot of people say, think
I'm
it does,
just,
but I know what you mean.
you know what I mean. It
Um,
just sounds like it smells like a farm. It doesn't smell like a farm.
Cool. Carly, who is on our team but checking in, talked about climate, a new story from Charles Eisenstein, talking about flipping the script on climate change. Totally. I don't know this book, but now it's going into my to buy list. So thank you, Carly. Much appreciated. Um, yeah. So gated reverb. Deb, I don't know. Do we have some reverb going, Jay? Is there something feedback? Because we're trying to do Instagram and these
Maybe.
other feeds all at the same time.
Maybe. I'm sorry if that's the case. I'm working with. I don't even want to get into the headache I had about tech. So if you can kind of hear us, then I've done a
Yeah,
magnificent miracle to today. So.
yeah. Sorry about that. We had yesterday was a crazy one. That's why we weren't on the FB. Um, anyway, Jay, any good news to finish it out?
Let's see. Good news. I mean, it's Cinco de Mayo, you know?
Hey,
So
that
it
means
and it's happening to oh, she I mean, I think the gated reverb was a reference to
yes, yes. Sorry, we've got technical difficulty scars right now that are still a
Yeah,
bit
I'm
fresh.
totally scarred from
So
it. That's hilarious that we totally were like, oh, is the sound okay?
yeah,
That's amazing.
yeah.
Uh, yeah.
But one thing I wanted to say, what did I start saying? I don't know.
What Cinco de Mayo? So
Oh,
it's also Taco Tuesday and Cinco de Mayo at the same time.
and John Jurek's birthday.
Well, and
I doubt he's listening, but to anyone who might be who knows John Jurek, happy birthday. Uh, Feliz
hey,
Nuevos
look,
Años, John Jurek.
look,
So
Mother's Day is coming up. There's a lot of hard-working moms out there right now, and doing a lot, wearing a lot of hats right now. So let's appreciate them for a minute. Let's talk about
big ups.
the Mexicans whipping the French's booty back in the day and celebrating Cinco de Mayo.
Yeah. Um,
Um,
yeah. A lemon balm margarita recipe. Carly, you need to come up with that. And if you do, we will post it. That would
yeah,
be awesome.
that would be amazing. So tonight we're gonna do some mushroom tacos. Um,
Thanks.
and then I'm gonna do a little live stream with my boys, and we're gonna do making. We're gonna make a song in 90 minutes, and I'm gonna sample some Mexican music as a celebration of Cinco de Mayo. That'll be fun. So
All right.
I'm looking forward to today. Today's a good day.
Yeah, it is. It is. Let's finish on that note. I'm going to do a reminder in case you weren't with us. Thank you for joining us, but also one piece of good news because my brother won't toot his own horn too much. Q Brothers, which is a collective of my two brothers, JQ, who's here,
And your
GQ, who's
brothers
online.
from another mother.
Yeah, two brothers from another mother, Jackson and Poss, are all getting have just released an album, Buggin', a family-friendly hip-hop album. You can find it on iTunes. You can find it wherever you buy music. You can stream it. But buy it and help support working artists. All those guys work as artists as their main gig. So it's a great way to keep people working at this crazy time to be an artist because they can't go out and do gigs. No one can. So whether you're Johnny Iguana and the Claudettes or whomever, find a way to support support the people you love. And who are doing
I bought their vinyl last week. Did you buy the purple vinyl limited edition? You got to get that.
Nice.
Yeah.
I didn't. I don't have a record player, but I would do it for them either way. And I know I bought the album. So
You got to buy it
I
for
bought Poss's album.
your kids have a record player in their room.
That's true.
Yeah.
All right. Done.
Yeah.
Done. They need some Claudettes anyway.
Yep.
Anyway, so check out the Buggin' album from Q Brothers. Thank you for joining us. Grab some tea tomorrow and join us again. We've
What do
got
you want to
more
drink
good things in
tomorrow? Do you
store.
know what you want to drink tomorrow?
I don't. I don't. I would like to.
Do you want some caffeine or no caffeine?
No caffeine. Something herbal tomorrow.
All right, let's drink some Hawthorne.
Going for a little heart health, huh?
I don't know. Let's try it.
Let's try it. I've never had the
I've never
Hawthorne
had
by
it. I
itself.
want to taste it.
All right, it's Hawthorne for tomorrow. We're going to be out, but we look forward to seeing you again. Thank you for joining us. Much love. All right, be safe. Peace.